If you built a real estate team and somehow life got harder instead of easier, what the hell?
I think people need to take the name tag of CEO off their desk and put babysitter.
Here's the thing. Most teams aren't failing because of the people. They're failing because of the leader. System could be a checklist. Hey, when you do open ouse, you do these 10 things.
If you don't have time to do that shit, you do not have time for a team. So let's talk about fixing it.
If you built a real estate team and somehow life got harder instead of easier, what the hell, right? Like, let's get after this. So there's some silent frustration going on. You added people, yet you got more problems. You thought you were going to get some freedom and it has not worked out. So Brad, let's jump into this. Maybe they're just a terrible leader. Maybe the world's just against them. Maybe they just were, hey, let's figure this out. What's going on?
Yeah, I think people need to take the name tag of CEO off their desk and put babysitter. Like, that's what you need to have if you want to be a team leader without a plan or a structure. You're going to be babysitting and you're going to be in drama and you're going to be dealing with people's social lives that you never expect. And that's the shit people don't tell you when you want to start a team.
And here's the thing. Most teams aren't failing because of the people. They're failing because of the leader. So we want to give you some of the things that's going to help you the most, because a lot of the common fixes, most leaders go, oh, I just need to hire faster. I just need to hire better people. I need to give better splits. I just need to give more of the money away that I'm not making in the first place, right? And those are usually not the problem. So let's pull back the corner or the curtain and actually give the real reasons why quote unquote real estate teams and businesses don't actually freaking work.
Well, I want to share a little secret real quick with team leaders. You can't give motivation to anybody. Motivation is not taught, is not learned. It is a primal instinct inside of somebody to do something, right? And what I have found is people become motivated because of their circumstances. They need a new car. They got married, they've got to retire. Like, that's the motivation. But if somebody's kind of happy and they're like, I'm okay doing what I'm doing, those are not the people you want on your team, because nothing you can do will make your team run smoother if you do not have motivated people around you.
So I'm going to disagree with you. I think you don't need unmotivated people, but motivation can't be the whole gig. So the whole gig can't be like, oh, they're so motivated, they'll figure out this crazy, terrible structure we have, and they'll just randomly go talk to 100 people at Walmart and find a deal. I think we over lean on motivation because we don't have clear roles. I know a lot of people that have really successful jobs that don't feel motivated all the time, but they have a clear role and responsibilities that they fulfill and the business works. So like, that's why I love these 3 reasons why teams don't work. And the first reason that you laid out is like, there's no clear roles. I love the idea. Stage 1 is there's no clear roles. That's stage 1. Stage 1 is like, hey, let's do a business. Let's figure out this works. Get it. Stage 1 should not last the entire length of the business. Stage 1 is like, hey, I don't know what we're doing. You can build a web page. Cool. You do that. I'll try this. Like that's stage 1. But you better get out of stage 1 real fast. Right. And that's with like, I love helping each other, but Brad, here's the 3 things you're going to do. Wayne, here's the 3 things you're going to do, right? Kelsey, here's like, all of a sudden, then we're not stepping all over each other in this mess of garbage. And it's got to start with clear roles. Who's doing what? If you need help, happy to help, but that's your responsibility.
I also think with clear goals, though, you have to clearly say who is the boss. You have to. Or, God forbid, you want to do a effing partnership. Okay. Like, let's just not even get on that high horse. But if you do, what are the clear roles? Who is doing what?
Yes.
Is it fair? And what I encourage you to do if you have a partnership with clear roles, write down what you're going to do and they're going to do. Take it to a broker, take it to another friend and say, does this look fair? Because what happens is you have one person that's a top producer and you have one person that's filling out repair addendums, right? A top producer goes out of town and like, well, why aren't you bringing in money? Like, you have to do clear roles. And if you're the solo team lead, you better tell people, this is my team. This is my hierarchy. It's not up for debate, because so much we want to be a kumbaya team.
And if somebody wants it, like reach out. We have a whole list. Like go through all the tasks of a real estate like owner, right? If you're a real estate agent, your own team members, here's all the tasks, and go boom, who's doing what, and literally build a column. Who's doing what? If you need that list, reach out to us. We'll send it to you. But that's where it's got to start. So clarity on roles is the first big thing.
Hey, really quick, you know how YouTube works. Like and subscribe so we know this is working and it keeps pushing the content out.
Yeah, this is what we do as a passion project. Wayne got his own coaching, I got my real estate, but we've come together because we want y'all to learn from all our scars and mistakes. So that like and subscribe means the world to us because it means you care and it means we can keep giving, and also it makes us look cool with my mom.
Absolutely.
Second is you actually have to have some systems, meaning
really.
And I think system sometimes is this word that's like, I don't know, like sometimes it sounds big and vague. Like system could be a checklist. Hey, when you do open house, you do these 10 things. That's a system. Like when we say systems, it doesn't always mean you're like launching rockets. It's just like when we do a Art of Real Estate open house, we do these 10 things. That's a system, right? Like just make it, because if you don't do that, then it lives in your head. And then you're like, well, why didn't you put out 10 signs? And they're like, you just said put out signs. So I put out a sign. It's like, oh shoot, like get it out of your head. Just write the crap down, because what happens is we don't have great systems. We don't have great training. So then we just hope they do it the way that we've done it, or the time we told them how to do it one time, and it falls apart.
Well, also, I have noticed with helping with other teams and having my own, like once you have the roles, you've got to be the one to set the cadence, right? The reason people want to work with you is because you're supposedly successful and you know what you're doing. So therefore you need to document it, because they're working with you because they don't have the systems or the knowledge. And so I have seen it time and time again where people get frustrated and burned out because, like you said, put out signs, they only put out 9 instead of 10. But I also, as a leader, need to write that down and say, not only do I want signs out, I want them on the right hand of the street, make sure the arrow is pointing the right way. That's your responsibility as a team leader. That is a burden. You have to take the time, and do not tell me you don't have time to do that shit. If you don't have time to do that shit, you do not have time for a team.
And that's exactly it. That's 100%. And people are like, oh, I'm too busy. Then cool. Don't go screw up somebody else's life.
Right. Which
get some help.
Again, if you don't have roles, you don't have systems, what does that make you as the leader? The cog that can never stop spinning. And I think people start teams so they can get some leverage, get some peace, get some time, and get a higher ROI on their dollar. But without the first two, you're going to be the hub. You're never out. You're a slave to your own business.
Yeah, that's 100%. And that's why people, and then they start that way, and then they're just on a trajectory to make it work. So like start with, and maybe it's just you set a goal of like, I'm just going to document one thing a week. I'm going to document how I reply to this. I'm going to template 5 emails. I'm going to document what I typically say back to an online lead, whatever it is. Like just start with those. And the reality is if you're not building assets, you're not building a business. And every time you document something, that's another asset, which increases the value of your business. So you just document one thing at a time. And Brad is 1000% better at this than I am. So call him if you want the process, not me. All right. But that's it. And then, here's what we want, right? Structure before people. This is such an interesting concept. Most people need to hire rock stars because they have no structure. It's hard to hire rock stars. And rock stars are divas because, but you hire a rock star, you hire this diva, and then they are the process. No, you want to build a process and then hire the person to run the process. Because then if that person gets hit by a train or decides to move, you still have the process. So you got to define ownership, who owns what, define outcomes. Here's what good open house looks like. The signs are pointing in the right direction. You put out 15. And then define how some decisions are made. Here's how we decide to do this. Here's how we decide to do this. And if you just start there, you're in a such better place. And if you're at 5 agents and you're wanting to go to 40, you probably need to document some stuff before you need to make that jump.
Well, and 2 practical things with that. One, if you're going to say something more than twice, you might as well turn on the camera on your computer and record it, right? Put in Google Drive and just say how I want open house signs. That's it. And so it comes to you like, that's a great question. Go check the intranet real quick and you'll know exactly what I want to do. Second, if you're really nice to me and you're a team leader and you're trying to figure out what to get off your shoulders, if you DM us or drop something down in the comments, I will walk you through on how to do a time audit. It's not going to cost you anything but time, but you can do a time audit to see what you're doing and then evaluate what you're wasting your time on. That can become the system and the process that you hire somebody to do. Because maybe what you're doing really needs not to be done by you. And you don't know that until you document it. So make sure you hit us in those DMs, and I just did that with a group and they were pretty astounded about how it went. So I'll offer that out to people. So let's talk about fixing it. We talked about that, right? Yeah, we already talked about it.
Yeah, we thought about, I mean, in the next episode, we're going to dive into some of these exact systems that we want to lay out for everybody. So pay attention. We're going to use some of the exact systems before you hire anybody else. Yet, if this episode, like, if this sounds like you, if this sounds like your business and you want more of this, subscribe to the channel, because this is about building real estate businesses and teams that actually create freedom, not just more responsibility. So don't miss out on the next one. Make sure to like, subscribe. Brad, you know, he gets a cup of coffee every time we do this. So yeah, show us some love, and let's get out.
Hey, real quick, if you're liking this content, imagine having a full day immersed with people that are on this, like us, that are learning from each other.
Man, we do these kind of events, these intensive, a couple times a year, and if you know that you are the smartest person in the room and you need to get in some other rooms, this is the place to be, right? So apply, send us a message right now, we'll send you the application link, and see if you are the right fit to be in one of the rooms.